Morning team, happy Monday. Today I'm talking all things stress. Now, we all get stressed from different external factors, and stress impacts us in loads of different ways. However, the most important thing is how we deal with that and finding a way that works with you to be able to cope, deal and manage with stress, because high stress levels not only impact your cortisol levels, but the negative impacts that it can have on you day to day, from your eating habits, the way you sleep, your headspace. And this is stuff that I have experienced and seen firsthand with my clients. So what tends to happen is when they're really stressed, their eating habits go completely out the window. So not making sort of the right choices, or food that they would particularly want to eat are in line with their goals and what they would usually eat day to day. How they're sleeping, so their sleep just goes completely out the window. And as I've spoken about previously, sleep is everything. All of your recovery happens in your sleep, both your cardiovascular system, your immune system. Like, sleep is top of the pyramid. But when you're stressed, your sleep is really heavily impacted. And then your mindset too. So something that I've seen is a common theme with people that are really stressed is they get themselves into a bit of a negative headspace, and that in itself is just not a nice place to be. So how do we deal with stress? How can we look at that? Now, like I say, it's all about finding things that work well for you. A couple of ways that I advise and do work for my clients. One is journaling. Now, that doesn't have to be structured. That can be however you want that to be. That could be first thing in the morning, during the day, at night, whatever that looks like. But just setting out some intentions for the day, or maybe writing down a bit of to-do list. Get what's in here on paper so that you can really get some structure to your day and actually start to plan and prioritize. So journaling can be super beneficial. And when we look at high performers as well, a lot of people that tend to be successful and perform really well do a lot of journaling. So that in itself can be hugely beneficial and just give you a little bit of clarity and structure on your day. The second thing that I advise clients to do is brain dumping. And this is done before bed. There was a study recently and it showed that people that did brain dumping, it increased the likelihood of falling asleep by 50%. Like, that's huge. It avoids you laying in bed at night with all of your ideas swirling around, anxiety through the roof. We've all been there where we're like, oh my God, I haven't done this, or, I need to do this, and everything's racing at 100 miles an hour. Whereas if you just spent a little bit of time decompressing before bed, which is hugely important anyway, getting off your phone, doing some brain dumping, put everything that's in here on paper, plan, prioritize, you're just going to feel a lightness. So those small tips can really help manage stress. So to recap, stress impacts us in different ways, but the negative impact on stress, if not dealt with, is huge. And it could be something that's stopping you moving forward, achieving your goals and holding you back from your true potential. So having that management on stress and finding a way that works for you is really important, whatever that looks like. But if you do find yourself in a situation where you are really stressed, managing that first and getting some calmness in your mind, just in your body, it's going to go a really long way. So manage that in a way that works for you, and everything else, you can feel like you have control of. Hope that helps.